like to discuss with you not so positive topic as my goal, but anyway it's important. And I would like to discuss the importance of news in our life. And before we start, just one question to the audience. Could you please raise your hand if you read news every day? Okay, not bad guys. Actually about 2 years ago, I thought in absolutely the same way. I started every morning from reading different kinds of news. Firstly, I went to LinkedIn, secondly to BBC website, and lastly to Facebook. Can you believe it? I repeated this kind of activity as minimum 3 times per day. And by the end of the day, my head was full of different kinds of information which I couldn't use properly, unfortunately. I decided to go deeper to details to understand the root cause of this kind of problem and make consuming news more efficient. And results which I found were much more radical, which I expected. So, today I would like to discuss with you 2 main topics. The first one, why news can be toxic for us, and secondly, principles to apply to keep the information diet. And I hope today, after the presentation, everyone rethinks the approach of consuming news and also make it more efficient. Talking about my cons of consuming news, there are 3 main ones, as you can see on the slide also. First one, news can be misleading and irrelevant. Just imagine the situation. The car goes over the bridge, and the bridge collapses. What does news media focus on? Of course, the car and the driver, if he survived or not. But what is really important in this way? Of course, the structural stability of the bridge and root causes of the problem. And in the absolutely same way, news usually represents only flash effects, which artificially entertain our brain, like dramatic stories, loud events, and so on and so on. In this way, usually things like astronauts, plane crashes, terrorism are extremely overrated around the world. And things as nurses, teachers, for example, or chronic stress are completely underrated in this way. So, the next thing which I would like to discuss today, actually news also impacts thinking and our creativity. And thinking usually requires uninterrupted time and also concentration. So, also, news can be also quite not relevant for us because everyone already know about it. And just imagine our famous writers, our entrepreneurs, and so on. These people created their most creative works in the young age because their brain was not impacted by different kinds of news which everyone already knew, and also they had some free space to think and to create. So guys, if you would like to come up with all solutions, please read news. And the last thing which I would like to mention about cons of consuming news, of course, news makes us addicted. And in this way, just imagine the situation when we read and use, and of course we would like to know how it will continue in the future. And in this way, also we read different kinds of topics every day. And we waiting for a continuum of different kinds of stories. In this way, we'll usually spend a lot of time for that. Also, people who usually read a lot of news lose the ability to read long articles and also books. Why? Because after 4 or 5 pages of reading, they got tired and also their concentration is going down. And it's not because they're getting older, it is because our brain, the physical structure of our brain was changed by content which we consume. And in this way, our brain adopts to the content and also different kinds of news as well. Notably that we shouldn't stop consuming any information, especially reading different kinds of books. Why? Because it's really important for us to consume information and to share it with others. But in another way, I would like to introduce 3 principles to keep in the future a healthy information diet. The first one, consume only important information. And the information is only important if it helps us to create, to build, and to share it with other people. And currently, the modern society doesn't need people who are informed. It needs people who are knowledgeable. So go deeper to the topics which you are interested about. The second principle is think about the solution, not about the problem. Of course, every day we read different kinds of news about wars, politician crisis, and so on and so on. In this way, we usually cannot think what can go right and also how we can die. we need to think about what can go right and also how actually we can live with happiness and so on. And in such way, if you have a problem, just let it be, because we are already looking for a solution. And usually every problem is complex. And to understand it, we need to go deeper to the structure and also go deeper to books to understand the problem definitely and at all. I think the last point which I would like to mention today about principles of consuming news. Be knowledgeable, not informed. And in this way, read more books, like journal articles, and also watching inspirational videos as a TED Talks. And currently, of course, everyone is afraid of not being up to date